All right, shalom, shalom. All right, first and foremost, I'd like to give all thanks, glory, honor, and praise to the supreme power, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, and peace and salutation to all you Akim out there doing the works in sincerity and true with the four winds. This is the brother Castle One from the GMS Bahamas camp, back at you with another lesson. Lord's willing, this lesson be edifying and help you be built up in the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. All right. Shalom to you few sisters watching and learning. Stay strong and remain humble. The lesson I'm going into is somewhat leading, somewhat, going to tell you how it is how it's going to be in times to come concerning that charagma and concerning the control that this so-called white man, the so-called devil, the devil the Bible speaks of, the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan, the so-called white man, the power that he has concerning your finances, all right? Because this money thing, all right, that paper dollar, that fiat dollar, or that credit card, or whatever you have concerning your finances, that's all but an illusion, all right? The actual money is the precious stones, you know what I mean? The stones and the resources, you know. But money is a way that they it's another form of control, because we know that according to Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. So this money thing is a form of control where they, you know what I mean, they have you like the hamster on the wheel, or like what Bob Marley is a rat race. They have you in the rat race chasing this money, you see, and they can take it from you in the blink of an eye, you know, have you down to nothing. Whereas you can't afford food to eat, you can't afford proper health care, you can't afford the basic necessities of life. And this is one of the leveraging points that they're going to use concerning that when they mandatorily usher in that charagma. All right, they wipe out your bank accounts, you know what I mean? Wipe out your, and say you can't get none until you take this, you know what I mean? Until you take this, or you get this implanted inside of you, you see? So I have an article here that really backs up my point, okay? The article reads, the heading on the article says that the US banks are abruptly freezing accounts, halting withdrawals without warning or explanation to consumers. You see what they're saying? So the earth is given in the hand of the wicked, the elites. They own these big banks. Your JP Morgans, your Deutsche Bank, you know what I mean? Your Schwab Bank, your Scotia Banks, you know what I mean? They own these institutions, the majority of these major banks. They own, actually, in all actuality, anywhere you see a central bank that is stationed anywhere in any part of the world, all right, just know that that's them, okay? So their tentacles are everywhere. 85% of the world has a central bank. You understand? So I can read the heading again. It says that the US banks are abruptly freezing accounts, halting withdrawals without warning or explanation. The article reads, it says, US banks are increasingly closing customers' accounts and freezing withdrawals without warning, according to a new report. A growing number of people say they are abruptly losing access to both their checking and savings accounts, a report told CBS Los Angeles. So now you can you imagine this thing happening? Now I'm speaking to our people over here in the Bahamas, in our little archipelago. Can you imagine this happening over here? All right, well, on average, a study was done like a year or two ago that they say that the average Bahamian has less than $1,000 in his account. All right. So could you imagine the little that we do have, all right, in our accounts? They just yucking or taking away in the blink of an eye, leaving you vulnerable. You know what I mean? Susceptible to not having food, not having water, not having health care. You know what I mean? Not being able to function. And a lot of with this little bit of pressure, our people, they easily ready to crack. At least 2/3 of our people, we know they're gonna crack for sure. All right, because we know they're gonna take that charagma and be put to death by the Most High. All right. So, I mean, that could even lead to, you know what I mean, uproars of the people, or a little civil unrest over here. You know, they'll carry on so bad, and as a pacifier or a calming effect, you know what I mean, for the governments to calm them down, they offer them that charagma. They take that and get triple or 5 times the amount that was inside their account. You know what I mean? Sweeten up the pot just so they could take that charagma and be put to death. You know, they slick like that, man. First precept I want to get a second address 16 and 21. It says that, behold, victuals shall be so good and cheap upon the earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon the earth, the sword, famine, and great confusion. Evils growing upon the earth. All right. Bad times. All right. That financial instability is a part of that. Okay. So can you imagine knowing you're supposed to have money in your account, but not sure if you're going to be able to use that today or ever use that? You see what they saying? And that's a fearful thing for people, you know, who money is basically their God. Okay. They worship money more than they worship Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai. In all actuality, they have no time for Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai because of this rat race. All right, because they trod it on the wine press. You know. Yeah, man. You get a little bit more in the article. It says the report cites that the sudden account closure of Elad Nahari. All right, Elad Nahari is the person who they basing this article off, who the interviewing. It says that the report cites the sudden account closure of Elad Nahari, who received an alert while logging into his bank account, his Bank of America account. He then drove to the branch in West LA, where he was told his account had been shut down and access to his life savings was denied. He said, in quotes, "Bank of America told me it was shut down. They refused to give me an explanation. They told me I would get my money after the issue was resolved. It would take 20 to 25 days. All right. So like I say, the elites in control. They control this illusion of what you call money or finances. All right. And they could take that away from you at the snip of a finger and the drop of a hat. All right. We have numerous illustrations of that. We have the Kanye West incident when they was on Kanye. You know, when they was on Kanye. Kanye had billions. He was one morning he was a billionaire. The next morning he was a millionaire. And the next morning he couldn't buy a cup of coffee or the Starbucks. All right. So that's how this devil go. All right. This is Micah 2:1. It says, "Woe to them that devise iniquity and wake evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because the power is in their hand." Like I say, they have power in the snip of a finger, all right, to take your finances away from you. One shot. And this is what they're going to use as leverage, all right, to force 2/3 of our people. When they say our people, I mean you Native Americans, Negroes, and Latinos, all right, to take that charagma. They're going to force you to take that by taking away your finances, leaving you vulnerable. You know what I mean? When the only thing you have left is your faith in the Most High. All right? But then you'll be able to trick the elect of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai. You know what I mean? Because we're going to put our faith and trust in the Most High because we know that He's going to provide for us according to Isaiah the 65th chapter. You know what I mean? That's why you have to be rooted and grounded in this way. This way has to be a stabilizing force. All right? Or else you're going to get trapped in the wilds of this devil. All right, next precept I want to get a second address 9 and 9. It says that then shall they be in pitiful case, which now have abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments. All right, that's 2/3 of our people. All right, they could dwell in torments because they cast the ways, the laws, statutes, and judgments of the Most High Power Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai behind their back. They have no faith in the Most High. This is verse 10. All right, it reads, "For such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me." All right, they make money their God. They make money their God, not knowing that their riches and their comfort level. Speaking of those who doing well in society now, those 6-figure and them 8-figure digits society members, you know, they don't know that the Most High power, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, is the one responsible for that. You know what I mean? But because of their pride, all right, they think that, they like to say self-made, all right, from the bottom up, whatever they say, you know what I mean? So they don't know that the Most High power, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, was the one who gave them it, all right? So the first thing on their mind when they wake up in the morning, money. The last thing when they go to sleep in the night, money. In the middle of the day, money. They don't have no time for the supreme power, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. You'll never find them on the highways and hedges or making their body a living sacrifice for the supreme power. You know what I mean? All right, next precept I want to get is Luke 21:34. It says, "And take heed to yourselves, lest any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and the cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unawares." All right, this is why we can't be caught up, all right, in the vanities of this world. All right, and then I'm not saying that you must, you know what I mean, throw your bills or your responsibilities, because we subject unto payments, all right, and anytime we get paid, it's like it's money with the bags and the holes or whatever, you know what I mean. But if you ain't going through nothing in this truth, all right, you gotta check yourself. You know what I mean? If you having happy-go-lucky time and a jolly time and no trials or no tribulation, you better check yourself. All right? So I'm not saying abandon your bills or your responsibilities as a man, all right? But just continue to do the wake of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, all right? And be able to let these things go at a moment's notice, all right? You can't hold on to these things. You can't hold these things there to your heart, your big house, all right? Your fancy car, all right? Your bank account, all right? Your status, your job title. You know what I mean? You got to be willing to let all these things go for the supreme power, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. But that's going to be difficult for a lot of our people, all right? Because of the pride of life, because of the vanities, right? Because they don't know the truth, all right? And because of their unfaithfulness and their unrepentant spirit, and don't want to come back to the supreme power, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, not knowing that this earth is going to be destroyed, all right? This earth is soon going to be destroyed. All these things are going to be done away with, all right? According to scripture. This is the book of Luke 21:35. It says, "For as a snare shall it come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth." All right? When the shit like this start, all right, when they start yucking all these accounts and taking your money and taking your finances and tell you can't get it back and tell you take that charagma, that's when shit is going to hit the fan. All right? "For as a snare it shall come all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth." All right? When the shit start happening on our shores, all right, it's in fact going to be a snare to our people. They're going to get entrapped. They're going to feel vulnerable, all right? They ain't going to know their eye from their ass, and they're going to run to the government to take that charagma, all right? They're going to tell them the only way that they're going to be able to release them funds is if they take that charagma. You know what I mean? You got to sign for that, And because of their vulnerability and their lack of faith in the Most High, they're gonna bite this hook, line, and sinker. You know what I mean? God's willing, me and my fellow Akim and all the sincere Akim across the four winds, and it's my Akim stand here. Lord's willing, the Most High keep us, all right, from that hour of temptation. You know what I mean? He keep us stable. You know what I mean? Because the only thing we have in those times is this word. You're gonna have to rely on the stability, the wisdom, and the knowledge of the supreme power. As a matter of fact, let me get Revelations. Let me get a little bit more of the article, then I can close this one out. It says, in addition, the Republican attorney generals in 19 states recently accused J.P. Morgan, that's one of the big banks of the elites, J.P. Morgan of persistently discriminating against its own clients and closing bank accounts without warning based on religious and political biases. All right, based on religious and political biases. All right, now that means they're coming up against people, you know what I mean, who serving the Most High power, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, people who are not going to take that charagma to be a part of the society. All right, so they're trying to, what they would call targeting, what they would call the bad apples, but in all actually they're targeting the people who standing up for the truth. All right, this is Revelations 3:10. Like I say, Lord's willing, me and my fellow Akim and all the sincere Akim across the four winds be a part of those who the Most High save from this hour of temptation. This is Revelation 3:10. It says, "Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Alright, that our temptation is when that karagma is made mandatory. And 2/3 of our people, 66.6% of our people, are going to bite that hook, line, and sinker because they have no faith in the supreme power, Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai. Alright? But guess what? The elect of Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai are going to be rooted and grounded in the wisdom, knowledge, and power of the supreme power. Okay? They're going to turn up that pressure to make our people fall. Alright? The Lord's willing, we be able to stand in the gap. Stand up, you know what I mean, for righteousness. Even though some of us are going to be put to death because of it, you know what I mean, to water Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. But the lack of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is going to endure till the end. You know, like I say, Lord's willing, we be a part of that elect number, way. Because things are really going to turn up. You know what I mean? Things are going to turn up in a major way. You know? Close out. Let me close out with Revelations 3:16. Salak, Revelations 13:16. Alright, it reads, and he caused it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he had that mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that had understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and its number is 666. Alright? Now as it says, he calls it all. Alright? All, both small and great, rich and poor, free and born. All is all. Okay? Because of your social status or your title in this world, you're not going to be able to avoid this. In order to be a part of society or participate in society or in this world, you're going to have to take that. And only the elect of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is going to stand firm and refuse that. Alright? Because you're not going to be able to buy, sell, or like I said, function. You're not going to be able to do anything. All your information is going to be on that. Okay? Only the elect of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is going to stand in the gap and stand firm for him. Alright? Lord's willing, we be a part of that number. Alright? And it's the consequences. This is Revelations 14:9. It reads, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. In short, in layman's terms, as they would say, the Most High is going to kill you. Alright, if you take that. Alright? There's no hope for you if you take that. The Most High is going to destroy you. You're going to have to come back to the loins of the elect. Alright, you're going to make that first trip on that chariot when the Most High come. Alright? To give salvation. Alright? So Lord's willing, I hope this lesson was edifying and served its purpose, which is to help build the spiritual tabernacle of King David. Alright, I hope you were edified. Lord's willing, it was edifying. Alright. So until we meet again, Shalom, and Abad Babal, Ban-Yasharahla.